Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we have a lot to talk about as usual on this SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. No tax reform for DR. You should already know this. Everybody in the streets are rejoicing, and stocks are booming, dividends are booming, real estate is booming. Is it all systems go? I think so, but Goldman Sachs says otherwise. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream edition. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, I want to thank you so much for being here on this Monday evening. Please make sure you share the videos. Why? As you know, the YouTube gods need to know that we have people in the house. And if you like what we're talking about during the course of this live stream, make sure you smash that like button and or subscribe. Now, the other part to the question is make sure you have your pen, pads, and paper ready, because you never know where the direction of this live stream will go. So everybody here, this is an equal participation joint. And everybody on Instagram, I see you, Marte. Thank you so much for being over there. And everybody around the social media platforms that we're on, and everybody on podcast listening to this live stream, I appreciate it greatly. Now, one other thing that we have to go over. We have our own Professor Ronti Val and the beachfrontjava.com. Premium blend coffee and teas, fine ground, drip ground, Keurig, doesn't leave anybody out. Then, not leaving anybody out is you can buy half-pound bags up to 5-pound bags. Now, where do you find the best beans in the world? Africa, Central America, South America, Indonesia. Those are the beans that she's using. Ziploc bags, so it's always fresh. So go over there and use SSN Lifestyle, all caps. That'd be greatly appreciated. So that way you receive discounts for life after your first order. It's getting chilly out here. Get your warm drinks ready now for the winter. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Let me see who else is in the house tonight. I see something going on here, but it doesn't make sense. But it's okay. Victor Marrero's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. With that icon, I humbly appreciate next to his name, and he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. Yes, that's what we do, because I'm going to start this off for everybody. I'm going to throw down something because, you want 10% to 15% dividends on your money every year, plus an appreciation on stock prices. Again, we've been talking about it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, about real estate investment trust. Well, why don't I start off with the usual ARR? Okay, ARR, ORC, AGNC. Those are normal, right? NLY. P is in Paul, S is in Sam, E is in Eric, C is in Charles, right? That's right. I switched it up on you. We're talking about stocks with dividends, real estate investment trust. All good. And I have a few more. These are high risk, high rewards. Not so much high risk, high rewards as in yield max ETFs. I'm just saying the higher the dividend return, once we go from 10, 11, 12, 15, It starts getting up there. ARR, in case I missed that one. PSEC. NYT. That's like New York Times, but it's not that. NYMT. All right, there we go. But I have a new one that we talked about years ago. D as in David, X as in X-ray. I know. It's like crazy. But those are some of the great ones. NLY, in case I forgot about that as well. Let me see who else is in the house. Hello, SSN Nation. It's Jawway J. An investor is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to your name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says, hope everyone is doing well. That's exactly right. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Received notification, saw the trailer, and smashed that like button for a one piece to do the trifecta. I got to say, that's what I love. And by the way, all you guys who are missing out on the Vanguard groups that we were talking about for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, not getting your money that you should be getting from the Vanguard group, VOO, VOOG, VTI. I know 30% and up. I mean, I don't know what to tell you just year over year, but it's all right. It's okay. Don't worry. ET is in Tom is an energy transfer company, but they are low, 7%, 7.7. But once again, just some standard things that we want to talk about here. Victor Marrero, the retiree, soon to be, yes, going, all systems go, flying out to DR tomorrow. Is that DR proposed tax fiasco over? Yes, it is, Victor Marrero. It's all over. Abinator said, we aren't doing it. He heard the bells ringing at 8 p.m. at night. He heard the pots and pans banging. He heard people walking in the streets, marching in the streets. He said, you know what? Let me hold off on this for now. And again, he didn't say for now part. He just said, well, I'm going to hold off on this. I'm like adding the for now part because there is no way that the Dominican Republic can go on as it is. You cannot just collect 18% and whatever other taxes. There has to be tax reform. There has to be banking reform. There has to be real estate transfer reform in order to make it believable. Everything that has to do with financial industries has to be improved. And on top of that, you're going to have to improve your infrastructure. The highways, byways, bridges, waterways, fresh water, electricity, all that has to be improved. You understand that is billions and billions of dollars. It's not like it's going to be $5 billion and you're done. This is going to take 10 years and they should have already started handling it now, but they don't have the money. They can't spend like $1 trillion. So therefore, this tax situation, it's only going to hurt worse later because they're going to have to start grabbing some money from somewhere. And unfortunately, the people of Dominican Republic, the average annual salary is not that high. Depending on who you talk to, it's either like $8,000 a year, $10,000 a year, $24,000 a year annually on average. I can't even figure out a number because it's all over the map. So we're just going to say it's somewhere between 8,000 and 24,000. And if there's that big of a gap where nobody really knows, then I would err on the side of caution because that means there may be a situation where a few people make $1 million and everybody else makes like 10,000 annually. Those people that make less money are not going to be able to contribute that large of amount of money into the tax base so you can do your infrastructure. So what does that mean? That means we have to tax everything and everybody. It's only common sense. Now, sooner or later, you guys are going to have to, unfortunately, deal with it unless you want to be like America and just have a deficit of, tens of trillions of dollars, except one little problem. You're not America. So therefore you're exchange rate, if you think 58 to 1 is crazy, imagine if it was 99 to 1. That's what starts happening when you have to borrow more money, ladies and gentlemen. That also means it's going to cost you more money on the island. So I'm just saying, you may want to hit them pots and pans now, but do you want to still stay at your bank to open up a bank account for 5 hours? Seriously. Do you want to have to deal with real estate when you transfer title that you don't know if the developer is right? You don't know there's no regulations. You don't know nothing. Do you still want that? I mean, seriously, this is what you're dealing with. Do you still don't want any sewers? And what about your electricity grid? After they're building millions of units over the next 3-4 years, how's that electric grid going to hold up? I'm just saying, who's going to be paying for all this infrastructure? It ain't going to be tourists, because as soon as it starts getting more expensive than any other island in the Caribbean, people are going to be like, sayonara, we're not coming. I'm just saying, and you're on a teeter-totter right now, ladies and gentlemen. All right? You're on a big-time teeter-totter. And what do I mean by the teeter-totter is this. If the United States, which already has 70% of its population who are living paycheck to paycheck, and Canadian citizens, that's 60% of your tourists, if all of a sudden it goes from 60% to 30% tourist, that is going to mean a big hit for your island. And you can forget all the taxation outside of the Dominican people that you want to, because that's going to reduce your income to the island significantly. And then what? I'm just saying. All right. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's the way I see it, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Nay, another investor in the Dominican Republic, is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he brings the tagline this evening of what's good, SSN Nation. We're all here is what's good. I love it. Hope everybody's doing well on this Monday, Making Monday. Exactly. I just did some reviews today, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what I did? I went to go look at what we were talking about for people. And I was just in shock. I mean, I was like, year over year, when we were talking about every stock that I told you about, all have went up, not just 5 or 10%, like 25, 30, 50, 60%. I know, isn't it nice? I know. And all you had to do was be here and listen every week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. We talked about it over and over and over again. So I don't know what more to tell you other than be here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. You just never know. And your stock portfolio would be doing exceptionally well. You would be getting dividends. You'd be getting appreciation on the dividend stocks, appreciation on some of those stocks like NVIDIA and Apple and Microsoft and all these guys, the FANG stocks, the Googles, Amazons, all that we predicted. And by the way, Goldman Sachs says, Eric, something's going to happen. I don't know what they're talking about. All I know is the Federal Reserve said, Eric, Jerome Powell called up and said, hey, Eric, man, you know we got to reduce the interest rate here. I was like, I know, man, get on with it. See, it's that simple. How do you get a bull run to continue? You reduce the interest rates so people will borrow. I'm just saying, this ain't rocket science. Let's go. All right. I got the notification. He saw the trailer, and I just smashed that like button. He also gave it a one piece, the trifecta. Thank you so much for that. And by the way, how could I forget? We talked about chip stocks like 3-4 years ago. Never mind year over year, just 3-4 years ago, because then it would be crazy numbers for people. But we talked about SMH, which actually holds stuff like TSEM. See, the Tower Group, semiconductor group, we always said had to grow. It's just like now, it has to grow. So semiconductors, or VTI, which is the Vanguard Group. Remember, we talk about that. That's, energy. It's talking about technology, right? We got to have technology groups. Goldman Sachs says S&P 500 is not going to work out. I still can't believe what they were saying today. Victor Marrero, high yield dividends paying this week. Oh, my. He gave a full list. This is crazy. This is crazy. Victor Marrero, how you doing me this? How you do this to me tonight? He beat me, ladies and gentlemen, and he dropped some other ones. Unbelievable. He's mixing some things in. He's going with the high risk, high rewards, high returns. You got to love it. I'm just going to leave it on the screen. But everybody listening on other programs, such as the Instagram, the Twitch, and everybody else who may not be seeing, but they can see the screen. So you can see what he has down there. I mean, the QQQY, the FEPI, the MSTY. I love MSTY because that's based on crypto. They buy, that's MicroStrategy. That's a YieldMax ETF stock. So go check that out. High risk, high rewards. The SQL, QQQIL, APLY, DGRW. I am not familiar with, Victor Morel. You done dropped something else on me tonight. All right, on all of us tonight. WDTE, high risk, high rewards. When we go here, RDTE, you love dividends. These are the ones, high risk, high rewards. YMAG, YMAX, QQQY, IWMY. These are all weekly. XDTE, QDTE. Friday night is salsa night. My God, he has a big mix, and I don't know the AIYY. Very nice, Victor Morel. He's going on vacation, and he drops the nuclear bomb for everybody that wants dividend funds. This is it. Weekly payout every Friday. This is something new. Reinvest every Friday. My God, can you believe if you're getting like 20 to 30% annually or more? Can you imagine what would happen if you were able to reinvest every week? I haven't even done the calculations, but I would have to think that's an additional probably 4 to 6% return by allowing you to reinvest every week and adding more stocks to get more dividends. And it's reinvesting every week by your dividends. So you're out here doing this, minding your own business. I love it. Thank you so much, Victor Morel. I left it on the screen long enough. So hopefully everybody loves what they're seeing, and go do your own due diligence. All right. Do your own due diligence. That's all we can ever say here. All right. But again, I just did some things. Like I said, I went to go look at the 5 or 6 real estate investment trusts year over year, and you would be astonished. Not only were people receiving 10% plus dividend return, they also received a 20 to 50. I think one of them was up to 60% growth at the same time, just as predicted, because the Federal Reserve reducing the interest rate and not increasing it for a year allowed them to sit and disperse all of the income accordingly. And now that the Federal Reserve is reducing the interest rate, I expect them to refinance some of that debt to a lower interest rate, which is a win for us who are getting the dividends from them. That's why I love it. Okay, just saying. And I like TWO. We used to talk about here too, for the dividends, real estate investment trust as well. So just think about that. Now, Paul Castillo, another investors in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate. And he says his tagline is, "Good evening, SSN Nation family. Good evening to you. I hope everyone is doing well, especially after DR proposed taxes a no-go." Exactly. I'm rejoicing. I'm happy as hell. We have our Dominican Republic SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's right. Go sign up. And now you can sign up at ssnlifestyle.com or stopstrugglingnow.com. We have tickets at either website, so you can go there. December 4th, we are going to go see attorneys. That's right. As soon as you not land there, hopefully you come in on the 3rd. But on the 4th, that's where we are going to see attorneys. And you know what's also at attorneys' offices? Banking people. There's people that know a lot. We're going to go. Hopefully you'll come join us. You can get your tickets right now. they're $199.99. And that only includes when we're there. It does not include airfare, it does not include hotel. So therefore, you have to get information such as this tax situation. The attorneys and their accounting departments, they keep abreast of this because they have to tell their clients what they should do. So who knows what happens between now and December? Things have happened before, like the comforter law was changed. We didn't know nothing about it. I was like telling people information that was old. Come to find out, there was something new. So you never know. There's probably something new that we don't know about over the last year that has happened over the last 6, 7, 8 months. So therefore, that's why it's good. And if you want to start a business, if you want to try to do what you do in the United States, have trust and LLCs and all this, those are the questions you ask. There's no additional charge. We get to sit there as long as you want. It gets handled. If it's a 30 minutes and everybody's done, fine, but that's never happened. If it's an hour and it's still not done, fine, because it has never went less than an hour. Just saying, so everybody can ask questions. If you want to start a business, if you're worrying about residency, if you're trying to become a Dominican citizen, I mean, you have all of that at your disposal. You know how much that's worth? It ain't worth $199. All right, I'm just going to say that. So the next day, we're going to go around to some of these real estate projects, see if there's anything that you like. Yes, I'm a broker with the SSN Lifestyle SRL in the Dominican Republic, but there's always this catch-22. I am not a realtor. I look out for everybody, and meaning you. So I actually have a dichotomy with who I'm a broker for versus when you come and I'm talking about a project, because we have to be real. We can't allow you, or shall I say, I can't allow you, even though we might be at a project and all of a sudden we find out what's the contract, and the contract says something stupid, or there's no white line. This has to be known. We're not going to sit there. You have to understand what you're getting into. If there's going to be additional costs, you should know about it. Right? And if there's anything else, like lack of amenities, I mean, this is the type of stuff we have to talk about, right? And that's why we always say, if you're going to buy in a foreign land or even in America, you should have an attorney when you're doing these pre-construction projects or business on the island. Just saying. All right, let's keep it moving. All right, Victor Morel says, I'm taking a break from Hard Rock this time. We're staying 3 nights at Lopasan Coastal Resort. Yes, Lopasan is supposed to be, actually, it's supposed to be nice. I've seen videos about Lopasan. I love the layout. The layout is so cool to me. You're on an all-inclusive spot, but I like how they have the almost like the outdoor mall atmosphere where they have the restaurants and the ice cream store and all these things that you can go to within a certain section. And I love that. It's at the beach and everybody gives good reports for Lopasan, and it's new, quite frankly. And then 3 nights at Margaritaville at Cap Cana before they changed the name. I love that as well. It's also, I think it's on the beach too. Yeah, it's on the beach and it's in Cap Cana. So it is what it is. And you're all good once you're at Margaritaville. And then we need that week after last week's hurricane. That's right. Exactly. All right. So let's see. You're going 3 nights. That's only 6 nights. I know you're not starting off the worldwide tour by just staying on the island for 6 nights. So you're leaving something out, Victor Marrero. I know you better than this. I know. And I can't believe you're not going to be hanging at the Hard Rock. This is a shocker. Yahweh J. Eric, 100% agree with you. Without a tax reform, yeah, exactly, man. There's just no way. It could lead to a significant strain on the country's finances, potentially causing increased public debt. That's exactly what the alternative is. Thank you for bringing that up, Yahweh J. He's exactly right. What's going to end up happening is that bond stuff. Either way, you're going to pay for it. I mean, there's no way around it. They're going to pull the old bond thing. And you're going to be like, what's this extra tax out of the blue? There's no way around it except one problem. there's not enough people in the Dominican Republic, citizens wise, that make hundreds of thousands. If the average was like 70 grand or 60 grand, then I can understand it, because there'd be a big amount of difference between you making, I'll use it this way, 10,000. But can you imagine 20% of your income is gone when you're paying the tax for buying stuff, the consumption tax, right? That's what pretty much goes down right now. So even though you make 10,000, 20% is coming from whenever you buy something is pretty hefty, right? Then you still have to pay tax of 27%. So when you start figuring that, I haven't even ran the numbers, but to me, it sounds like 50% damn near of your. So if you make 10, you get to keep 5 after you're buying stuff. That's significant. And if you're making 25 and all you're really ending with is 12, that's significant. So where are they going to get this extra money from? Because these are not going to be the people doing the consumption taxes. They're not going to be going out every weekend spending $200-300. So otherwise, you need the tourists. So that's what's going to happen. All right, reduce government services, exactly. Economic instability and negative impact on investor confidence due to the lack of fiscal discipline. You rounded it up all very well, Yahweh J. That's exactly right. And this is what people don't understand. I'm rejoicing because they didn't change anything for right now. But the problem is it's almost situation critical, because 5 years has went by and they didn't do a damn thing, but they couldn't because they had to have tax reform in order to get additional revenue in from taxes. Meanwhile, they did the other thing they could do was increase the tourist number, which would increase revenue coming in from another side of the fence without dinging their citizens. Very smart. But again, they didn't count on all these projects were going to take 6-7 years. See, remember, there should have been hundreds of projects that should have been done in 2022, 2023, and 2024. Those hundreds of projects would have netted them probably a couple of $100 million just on the 3% transfer tax, just on that alone. So this is where the problem comes in. And you guys don't understand, all this comes into play. You can only do tourism so far, because if there's a downtime, which has to come sooner or later, instead of them growing every month, what happens like in 2026 when the curve stops going like this and it starts plateauing, and all of a sudden, instead of getting an extra million tourists coming in, there's not. And now you hit a plateau. Now where are you going to get the extra money from? You're not going to have buyers for real estate, and you're not going to have the tourist numbers. It's going to be a double dose of bad news, down revenues. And now what? Again, and you can't bring any data centers over there. Why? Because your electrical grid doesn't stay up 24/7. And even with backup situations, it's going to cost an arm and a leg for the data centers. So once again, you can't have that, which would employ 1,000 people, nice paying jobs, I would hope. They should be, but you know how people do. And there's other things that go on as well. So all of this, while we're rejoicing, in my heart, it's breaking, because I'm like, man, they're in almost a no-win scenario. And so the only thing they can hope for is that there is no downturn in the U.S. economy, because then you're not going to have your 50-something%, 51, 52% of U.S. citizens even coming. And those dollars are significant. All right. So just keep that in mind. I want to caution everybody. Victor Marrero says from Paul Castillo, it's a good thing this tax reform is over, so you don't have to bring your rice pot with you to protest. Yahweh J, agree. The money has to come from somewhere. The problem will not disappear. That's right. They can't print money like we can. It's called borrow it from another country. And unfortunately, because they haven't done the tax reforms, the IMF won't let them borrow at low rates. See, that's where the problem comes in. That's why they have to go by the IMF guidelines. If you guys missed my video that I dropped, I went over the IMF. there's three key components to it, and it was number 25 and 26. They spell it out right there. The United States and the IMF are actually monitoring the Dominican Republic economy. And not only their economy, there are rules and regulations regarding anything financial. So when you have mix-ups with deed transfers, that's a no-no. You have mix-ups with bank accounts taking they call it 1960s banking, and that's what I call it 1980s banking, because you have to sit there and do wet signatures. You keep doing all that, you're never going to be in the United States system and the EU system. You're not going to join in. Therefore, you're going to have to charge people what the banks are charging now. They're going to loan you money at 6, 7, 8%, and then you're going to have to do these adjustable rate loans for 12 to 13, 14, 15%. And nobody's going to want to do that. So therefore, you're going to lose citizens or tourists who come and buy, foreigners that come and buy. Because now, if you cannot do a simple thing such as, like right now, they're selling condos for $300,000 plus, $350,000, $400,000. Okay. The only people that can afford that to put down $80,000 and then pay something like $5,000 a month, and then on the other side have an IOU of 40%, 160 grand, they're gonna have cash, because 160,000 at freaking 12%, that is insane. That is crazy. That is insane. You're talking about something like a $1,600 a month mortgage. Actually, it's going to be more than that, but I'm just saying, with it being adjustable, that means only certain people who would buy are the same people who aren't going to buy, because they're going to say, you know what? I'll just go to Miami. If I'm going to do something stupid, if I'm going to spend 400, 500 G's, I might as well just stay in the United States. And at least I know the appreciation value goes up. And not only that, I'm paying the same, except one problem on the other side. When I have $160,000, if that's the case, I know my interest rate's going to be 4%. Big difference. Big difference. $600, $700 a month mortgage versus something like $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. Huge difference. So that's why I'm saying they have to do something, like Victor Morell's agreeing with as well. We got to do something. All right. And hinder economic growth potential. That's it. It's all a non-starter. This is why the IMF is giving them the guidelines. They're saying this is what you have to do. But the DR is going, hold on, Kimosabe. No. We don't have the tax base to do what you want us to do. It's like, okay, then they're sitting there going, well, then we gave you the instruction book. Until then, you're on your own. We'll help you out with a few mil every here and there, but we ain't helping you out with billions. We can't trust you. You're not in our banking system. Oh, man, it's crazy. All right, without additional revenue generated by tax reforms, the government might struggle to meet its existing debt obligations. That too. That's right, because they do have a deficit. I forgot about that point. That's why they have to do something. They can't stand pat. And I know Abinader did the right thing because of all the hoopla, but unfortunately, I don't even know what he's doing. Seriously, he might be playing those political games, but if I was him, he was just elected in the last, was it 8 months? He has 3 more years plus. And quite frankly, I wouldn't have been shocked if he would have just said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's vote this in. I would not have been shocked. But I know they're playing political games. They're going, well, man, if we do this, everybody's going to be voted out. I know, but we got 3 years to right the ship. If we do all this and we can get this done in a year and a half, on the other side of this, now all of a sudden we can go to the United States and say, hey, man, we need to borrow, Now we will have people working at higher paying jobs while we're rebuilding everything here. I mean, that's what I would have done. Every month they're waiting actually delays everything. And especially the political situation is not going to stop just because you delayed it until next year or delayed it till 2026. It's just going to make it worse. You're going to owe a hell of a lot more money, like Yahweh is saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, dividends, real estate, stocks booming, and no tax reform in the DR is what we're talking about here. All of you who do real estate investing, no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. That's what you should be talking about. Ronnie Money, I see you at Instagram. Thank you. And everybody, go over to Instagram. We are Stop Struggling Now on Instagram. Make sure you follow on Instagram. That'd be greatly appreciated. It's now or later, and we know delay is dangerous. Exactly. It's exactly right. Victor Morel says the other 5 days will be in Santo Domingo. Then we'll be flying to Puerto Rico until end of November. All right. Ready to go. Way to go. Now, are you going to be doing your YouTube at this point? I mean, are you going to get some video? Are you going to have the drone? I mean, what's the program here? Are you going to go forth with the YouTube channel or forego that? Not going to do it. Haven't come up with the name. Let us know. It'd be pretty awesome. Jaway J, the opposition should be hammering them on this government, could be forced to cut back on public services like healthcare, education, infrastructure development. Exactly. And this is one of those things when they started talking about the Haitians, right? Here's the thing that people don't realize. They're using it as a scapegoat. That's what I'm trying to get. See, people don't understand. This is what a lot of countries do, just like in America. Immigrants. They're taxing us. Okay, that's nice. Once those immigrants are gone, like they allegedly took out over 180,000, right? Already. When they're gone, then what's going to be your excuse when you go to the hospital and you're still waiting 3-4 hours? Because that's what's going to happen. It's an infrastructure thing. You keep thinking it's because there's additional people. It's just like right now, if I go to any emergency in a major city, you know how long you got to sit in there? You ain't getting in to see anybody in like 10 or 15, 20 minutes, even though it's an emergency. Come on now. Let's get real. Let's get real. I mean, you got to stop playing. Your country has to build the infrastructure, no matter which country you're in. Them out here doing other nonsense like deficits and not figuring out how to get more money into the economy, they just have to tax us more. And that's why 70% of our population in America are living paycheck to paycheck. The upper middle class about to get wiped out unless you buy dividends and stocks. By the way, stocks, dividend stocks. Let's go. The United States is on your side. At this pace, these builders are going with our projects. We won't be able to get comfort tour anyways. This is so ridiculous. That's right. You got that. In fact, Victor Moreau, it's even worse. Well, not yet. It's not worse because they didn't implement the tax reform. But you're right. If somebody has comfort tour was already approved and they're taking 6-7 years to build things, like there's an Ocean Bay in Bavaro that's still not done. And without the Haitians, the migrants who are approved to stay there and work, if they're gone, this is just going to be further delays. And that also means less taxes. You guys don't understand how there's an ecosystem with every country. Every country needs immigrants and migrants. They hide it sometimes. I shouldn't even be talking about this, but I have to because a lot of people are unaware of H-1B immigration that allows corporations to hire immigrants who come here to America, that silently come here, that you don't realize. They're taking jobs, but they are skilled citizens normally. But then what is a skilled citizen in the first place? Everybody's skilled when you're working. You have to have a skill to work, right? Or teach or learn. There's no way around it. But that's the little hidden thing. The other hidden things in our country, in America, and a lot of countries around the world, if you come and invest, you can get citizenship. Again, an immigrant, a migrant, If you had the money, you can just buy your way in sight unseen, right? Come on. You guys, all countries are built on immigrants. There is no country where everybody's just from that country. Not one in the world. Zero. Because if it was that way, then every name that you see in the Bible, every name that you see from 300 years ago would still be the same country name, but it's not. All right, let's get real. America, how old is America? 250 years? That's it. What was it before that? French, Spain, Indians. I mean, come on. This is how it works. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm planning to do the YouTube. I also want to get my Instagram and Facebook pages squared away. What's your Instagram? Stop struggling now. The same. Do you have professional Instagram or Facebook page? I have both. I have professional Instagram. It's probably professional. They changed the name like 3 times. It was business. It was professional. I think I have professional. In fact, let me see. I can tell you. I think business. It's either business or professional. They keep changing it. At one time, it was business. At another time, it was professional. It's all over the map, man. Maybe it's just me. Let me go look. Oh, wait, I can't look. I don't know how to look. Hold on a second. Professional. Because I have a professional dashboard. All right. So, look. We're back up to 917. 917. So we went from 919 down to 916, back to 917. It was 918 earlier today. So it's all over the board. Everybody, please go down to the bottom of the description box and please register for all our social media platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. If I'm not mistaken, the credit rating will be downgraded and make it more expensive to borrow money internationally. That's what I'm talking about. The IMF. That's what they're doing. They're giving them all the criteria so they can actually not get a credit rating downgrade. So that way they get an upgrade. So then they get less interest rate, a lower interest rate to borrow. Exactly right. Jaway Jay's he either knows this stuff or he's been studying this stuff. Either way, he's saying exactly the repercussions from not doing a tax deal. He's giving you all the repercussions. This is all the repercussions by not getting your infrastructure in order. And the only way that's going to happen is I don't know how. I really don't know how. The island, the country of Dominican Republic is not an easy one to have infrastructure built because there's mountains, there's rivers, there's lakes, and rolling hills and ocean. I mean, it's not easy. It's not flat. It's not relatively flat. So the infrastructure is not something that's going to cost you less. The fact you have to take it over mountains and water and things like this, you have to do certain things to protect it. So therefore, what do you get? I mean, this costs money. And it's going to cost more, by the way. They're on an island. This is why all the contracts for real estate on the island have a thing in there saying we'll cover the first 3% generally, but after the material cost goes over 3%, we're going to charge you the difference between 3%. And if it goes up to 20%, that's 17 more percent that you're going to be charged for your unit. All right, Brian P's in the house. Mr. Dividend himself has arrived. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon I humbly appreciate. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. Yes, it is. It's all good with me. Had a good weekend. Hopefully everybody else had a good weekend. Hello, SSN family. Right on. Smash that like button. I love it. A one piece. I appreciate it. That's great. He says he got the notification. He saw the trailer and the videos. Thank you so much for that. We are making money in here. That's right. Oh, you missed the list, man. Just in case there's some people that came in here late, Victor Morel's going on vacation and he dropped this earlier today. Is that unbelievable? Des Dirty, I see you in the Instagram live. Thank you so much for being there. Make sure you guys hit the follow button. Twitch, make sure you guys hit that button as well. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. Make sure you like. I appreciate it all. Now, that's what he dropped earlier today, Brian P. Can you believe that? All of that for everybody to have their pen, pads, and papers ready. I went over something at the very beginning, at the outset, because, I had to break out some other stuff because people haven't looked. I just actually started looking today and I was like, damn, 35% here, 30% there, 60% there. The ORCs kicked butt, got the appreciation and the high dividend rates over 10%. Oh, it was a beautiful year, ladies and gentlemen, a beautiful year. I mean, it makes me happy. Everybody here is winning if you do the right thing. Those are not individual stocks that we're talking about. Real estate investment trusts are actually multiple properties with that stock symbol. Then when we're talking about ETFs, that's multiple stocks as well. The markets all have hit record highs. So it's no surprise 30%, 40%, 50%, 60% increases, 10% even. Look, let's get real. The stock market, just like the housing market, has done stuff that it never should have done. There is no way that this should have happened where things go up 30, 40, 50% year over year, and there's a whole bunch of them. That used to be outliers. Most people were good with 7%, 9%, 11% annually. Now this other stuff going on, wow, it's incredible. So let me see here. I was talking about the S&P 500 earlier. They're going off the charts here. Look at this. This is what Goldman Sachs is saying. The S&P 500's decade of eye-popping returns is over. I mean, it's almost like they're taking money out of the market or something. And a new era of low returns is on the horizon. Goldman analysts say the exceptional stock market performance of the past 10 years could be replaced by a decade of markedly lower returns. I hate to tell you guys, but this is dire. They're talking about Great Depression type 3%, 2% returns. And that means a big downfall as well. But I mean, good God, talk about scary. Is this like, what do you call this, a Halloween trick? This is insane when they come up with something like this. This is crazy. Look at this, 3% annualized returns. This is what I'm saying. Over the next 10 years, they're talking like the 2035. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's say that happens. I left that up long enough. Let's say that happens. Let's say that happens. Okay. I just want to ask you guys something. So what's the likelihood of real estate where people will not all of a sudden rent or not all of a sudden buy homes? So again, I'm all bullish with real estate investment trust because they are designed for rent, which could be where a lot of people are heading, to the rent pile. Those condo owners in Florida, in the Gulf Coast, who can't get insurance, who are tired of hurricane seasons, they are probably going to move somewhere. All right. So rent is going to always be coming in. Don't you want your money earning 14, 13, 12, or 15, or 16, or 17%? Making it make money for you year over year, regardless if the annualized returns go to 3% like Goldman Sachs says. Goldman Sachs is like the first one that came out with this. Again, Wall Street is facing a lost decade. This is like the Great Depression. Okay, there's a lot of people that have been talking about a Great Depression. Does anybody here think there's going to be a Great Depression? Or I won't even use that. Let's just use a recession. Does anybody think there is a recession and did I miss something here? Just smash the like button. Okay, Joe Nay. I just don't see a recession happening. I just don't see it. I just cannot see it. Yes, I'm still planning to do YouTube. If I'm not mistaken, yep, you're exactly right about that. Okay, we went over all of that. I got the emails. Did you like those emails? Yes, I did like the emails. And I love the one about they're calling somebody else. They were talking about dividends. And I'm like, wait a minute. They missed out on Mr. Dividends. They said something about $40,000. And I can't remember the return. And I'm sitting there like, damn, Mr. Dividend, he's put down $40,000, but he's getting like 4 G's a month back almost damn near. So I don't know what they're talking about. I thought that was hilarious. Very funny what they were talking about, giving somebody kudos for doing something we've been talking about over here for 4 years. And for 40 grand and getting that measly return of, I can't remember what it was, 8 or 9% or something crazy. I'm like, that's crazy. Not only would we have appreciation, because if you'd have stayed with any of our PSECs, ARR, ORC, AGNC, NLYs, you got appreciation and double-digit return of dividends. And the double-digit return on dividends is reinvested for you. You don't even have to break out any more money to put in. It's a beautiful thing. I'm just saying. The JEPI, the JEPQ, 9%. If you want 9%, then check out JP Morgan stuff. JEPI, JEPQ for everybody here. All right. I am Victor Marrero. I'm loving the market. Yep. He's with Victor Marrero. Everybody should be loving the market. I picked up 500 ULTY on the dip today. Very nice. Very light. I love it. Again, wow. 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 Brian P., Mr. Dividends. That is awesome. I'm glad you're winning, man. I'm very happy. Ramkrishnan. I can't pronounce that. Ramkrishnan. Nice to see you over here at Instagram. I appreciate it, man. Everybody, once again, I got to talk about one last thing. Real estate investment, no qualifying, no barriers to entry, no credit checks. You can go. Come join us December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's when we go around. So you should be there by December 3rd, leave on December 5th. But in between the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we go see lawyers on the 3rd. Sorry, lawyers on the 2nd. On the 3rd, we go around and see projects, some pre-construction projects. That's right. Put down 1,000, put down 500 to reserve, then have to put down anywhere from 10, 15, or 20% as a down payment. Yes, I know. But after that, 0%, you make a payment over the next 2 to 3 years at 0% interest as your down payment of roughly 40%. And then on the other side, you have 40% left. That's on delivery. The 40% is due. If it's a Noval property, which we probably won't go to Noval, I have to admit, there's a reason. We won't go see Naval because they do a 20% down, 80% during construction, and they keep doing 5 years. That's not working for me. All right. That is not working for me. All right. Now we have something else new that I'm going to have to, we got to talk about. This is what I was afraid of, and it started happening already. Look at this. Everybody knows Sonesta. Well, maybe everybody doesn't. Larimar was supposed to have hotels on their boardwalk. And I don't know if that's going to happen because is Sonesta going to wait around another 2-3 years or whatever? That's crazy. Maybe they have a contract like these guys have. Now, I want to show you something else. Let me see if I still have it. We talked about a project called this right here, Harabacoa. That's right. It was $115,000, ladies and gentlemen, right? Pretty cool. 36 months. Now, all of a sudden, here's what's going to happen. It's unbelievable. Sonesta shows up, and these guys, and oh, by the way, hold on before I forget. This is called, in case there's no name, this is called Elements. All right. Elements is the name of this project right here in Harabacoa. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But what do? All of a sudden, they do the unthinkable. I'm still waiting to hear back from somebody that owns it, Elements, because they called the developer, and the developer said, because this means it's a condo hotel, ladies and gentlemen. Don't misunderstand. Everybody, I'm partial to condo hotels. What do I mean by that? Don't do it. That's how partial I am. The reason why I say this is because you lose total control because the management company rents out your unit. Therefore, traditionally, you don't get to just say, show up and be like, I'm hanging in my unit for 6 months. That's not how condo hotels generally work. Now, the guy that owns it, Elements, you can read some of this as I'm talking, but the guy that owns it, Elements, said he hit up the developer today. The developer hit him back and said, oh, no, you'll be fine. You can stay in the unit. I'm like, that's not how it normally works. That's not how condo hotels work. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Sonesta kicks off a multi-year expansion with the Harabacoa Hotel construction, which is the Elements. Announced the execution of a deal to open 5 Sonesta ES suites. These are Sonesta ES suites is condominiums. They're literally condominium projects that usually has a game room or, a seating area, it has pool, that type of thing, maybe tennis courts. But here it is. The first property, Sonesta ES Suites, is Elements, Harabacoa. It's scheduled to open in the first trimester of 2026. I doubt that. That would be a record because that would be on time. The first quarter of 2026 would be on time. Wouldn't that be awesome if it was on time? Okay, with the remaining 4 hotels to be completed within 7 years. I'm just like, they are pushing it. So they enter into a deal where one hotel or condo hotel is going to be done in 2026, and they're claiming another 4 in 7 years. That is something that traditionally does not happen in the DR. You're going to be waiting 15 years the way things are done here. Now, the other thing is, I don't really want to put people down, but in this press release, I want to see if they still show it. Look, here's the developer right here, Almanzar Marte, a real estate developer with more than 14 years of experience. But look, they have developed, constructed, and delivered over 100 residential units in San Domingo. I'm like, 100? I'm like, 100? That could be one project. 100? I'm like, that's not even a track record worth even noting. 100. Look, just my point. Look at my point here. Elements, Harabacoa offer a minimum of 80 suites. So this could eat 100's nothing. 14 years, 100 units? Are you serious right now? With floor-to-ceiling windows imported, I won't even get into this because it's going to be a condo hotel. So what we don't know, I don't know Sonesta's condo hotel, how they do things. And once I do, I'll post it up. I'm pretty sure it's going to be just like the other condo hotels. Uh-oh. Did I lose? Hopefully I didn't lose my voice on this one. All right. So this is one of those things that we have to worry about. And this is what I was concerned about, like I told you guys. So these condo hotels are going to pop up and you just don't know where. So anybody listening who is who's buying a pre-construction project in the Dominican Republic, you should be calling up the developers, finding out right now, do they have any designs of changing this into a condo hotel? And there's reasons. If you haven't, look underneath the SSN Nation channel, the Stop Struggling Now channel, because I go over condo hotels extensively. I go over what other people even talk about from the Reddit groups and from other groups. And they all say 50% of revenues are generally gone, 55% in some instances. And you can't just stay there. If Sonesta is different, because again, I'm not familiar with Sonesta ES. I'm going to find out. I'll be dropping a video about it because I know there's going to be Sonesta ES owners because there are in the United States already. I know where they are already. They're in Tempe, Arizona is one. They're going to be in New Orleans. They're going to be in a few places. So I can go find out from Sonesta owners, condo owners, what happened, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be just like everybody else. You can either stay here a week, a couple of weeks, a month at max. There is no way they're going to let you stay there 6 months and be in the rental pool. They might let you stay there without being in the rental pool, but I caution everybody. And the reason I say I caution is because, again, I've talked about this under the condo hotels. If, let's say there's 80 units at Elements, what if they have 2 bedrooms at Elements too? So that means it could potentially have families of 2 kids or 1 kid. Just say 20 to 25 units, people stay there for like, just say all year long. That pool, that fitness room, that game room, all that, because they live there, is different because they live there. You're visiting. So what I mean by that is they might be like on Saturday at 7:30 at night, it's barbecue night for like 3 or 4 families. See, they live there. So there's stuff that's going to happen as a community if you live there, just like your community. Maybe one week you have that yard sale for everybody, right? Same kind of thing in the cul-de-sac. Same kind of thing, but you just so happen to be visiting that week, but they live there. So this is all I'm saying. I don't generally like the hotel part. If it's just a condo and it's just a neighborhood, okay, I understand. I'm expecting people that live there to do that. But when we start talking about hotel, that's where the problem I have comes in. I just can't see how this is hotel when it's a condominium in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's not nowhere. It's in the mountains, but I'm just saying you add a hotel component to it. And so that's why I have this thing about people living there is not that good to me. So that's the component. So we're going to find out, but I just want to let you guys know that's what's going down so you guys can see it for yourself, right? Everybody can see how it's going with that. And Victor Marrero, he actually put up something. He added this, and I had it all ready to go. FEPI. I had this all set. Let me see if I can get this right. He let the cat out the. I can't come over there. It's not letting me get over there. That's interesting. You guys messing with me. I can't go over here to FEPI. 25.19% dollars and 10 FEPI. If I'm not mistaken, isn't it like 50? I don't have a stock price here. I think it's $50. $52 or something like that. I don't have a stock price. But nonetheless, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, that happened. We disappeared here. How did we disappear? All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. We're back. I see I'm back right now. Hold on a second. All right. Oh, I see I got blinkers in the back. Beautiful. All right. So let's see. Am I back? Yes, we're back. Sarah's abundant mindset. I love that. Thank you so much. I see you on Instagram. I see you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And if anybody's missed, there's a long list of dividend funds. I guess I should go back up to the top because Victor Morel's gone on vacation tomorrow and he just dropped a whole bomb of stuff. And I was going to talk about quite a few of these, but he beat me to the whole damn list and then some. Some of these give anywhere from, looking at this list, dividend wise, it looks like 10, 11% up to, I hate to say this, 50, 60, 70% distributions for a 70% return. Remember, the higher the return, the higher the risk. There must be something else going on. You may be losing stock price because they're giving out distributions. That's the YieldMax ETFs model. They give you a large distribution, 70, 80% in some instances, but that means there's no reinvestment vehicle. So therefore, the stock price comes down a little bit every month. Or you can go another route and stick with something that's a little lower return. And then that way, you might want 17, 15, 13. And I left out IEP, another high risk, high rewards, because it's over 20%. That's a Carl Icahn group. I is in India, E is in Eric, P is in Paul. So hopefully that helps out as well. Now, we have a few other things. Why is this still on the screen? Oh, okay, I got it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Always have a pen, pad, and paper ready on Monday nights because you never know what's going to come up with stocks. And you never know what's going to come up with the Dominican Republic because I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't know the numbers from the month. We don't know what the number was for the month of September, the tourist numbers. That means they've been waiting till the end of the month. And you know what that means to me? That means to me that it's just before where it was nothing about 10% increase year over year. So that indicates normally these guys are on it by the middle of the month, the latest. All of a sudden, this last 2 months, these guys don't even want to tell people what the tourism numbers are. Now, I will say one other thing, Port Cabo Rojo. The visitors, the people who have their cruise ships docking there at that port, they are loving it. They're claiming it's the best. Wow. That's incredible. I can't believe that. I just can't. James Way, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to your name, which I humbly appreciate. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Got the notification. Sorry I'm late from work because the rent is too damn high and it doesn't pay itself. Exactly, man. Exactly. I know what you mean. The rent is about to get too damn high. And by the way, speaking of rent is too damn high, some of these corporations out here who decided to buy property is finding out just what I suspected, and I'm laughing all the way to the bank because these companies who invested in apartments and houses, not so much apartments, but houses, and they tried to do this rent to own program or whatever. I find it hilarious because every month it sits on the market and they bought thousands of units. Now, all of a sudden, they're like, hey, wait a minute. These taxes are due. These special taxes are due. Wait a minute. The insurance, what do you mean it's $4,000 per month? I mean, $4,000 annually for our insurance premiums now. They're finding out the hard way what I knew was going to happen. And they're like, we don't want no part of this. because soon as the person, the rent to own person or the lease option person, however you want to call it, decides to leave, that means you are now holding the bag once again. Yes, you got your money, whatever, but now there could be wear and tear on the place, which costs an arm and a leg to fix. You just put yourself in a whole trick bag. And if you have hundreds or if you have thousands, it's going to be very, very messy in a downturn. If there's a well, there's already 70% of the population lives paycheck to paycheck. So I find it very fascinating that all of a sudden they want out. They are like, oh my God, how did this happen? Here, I think it was invitation, wasn't it? I think it was courtesy of Brian P. He probably sent me something regarding it. Yeah, it was. It was Invitation Homes. The side they got a little issue, and I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very, very funny that they had all these homes. Invitation Home now owns a little over 24,000 homes. I'm just reading something because that's not what I really wanted to find. I wanted something else. And remember, they started it in 2018. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can actually find it because I don't have it in my. Yeah, they're the Invitation Homes, the nation's largest single-family home landlord, preyed on tenants through a variety of unfair and deceptive tactics, from saddling people with hidden fees and unjustly withholding security deposit to misleading people about eviction policies during the pandemic, and even pursuing FTC takes action. I love the FTC under Biden. They handling biz. If this goes away, then I'm just saying, nobody's there to fight for you. So here it is. FTC says Invitation Homes was anything but inviting. Invitation Homes deceive renters and will refund $48 million to settle federal claims. Yeah, you think? Avoid Invitation Homes. Some people are saying mold mildew issues. If you guys missed out on my videos about building a better home with quality materials, there's little things that people don't understand about a house. A house breathes. Well, I'll put it this way. A house needs to breathe. So what if you live in a humid location? This is why a lot of people put those dehumidifiers in their house, because your materials break down faster oftentimes in a humid environment. Also, even if you're in a humid environment and you live in the desert, you still need your air to circulate. And that helps eliminate mold, just so you guys know. So usually a semi-custom and custom home has a fan system that even when you're gone, the fan systems, and I'm not using like a fan that oscillates or anything like that. What I'm referring to is your normal central air. So oftentimes your central air will run by itself just to move air. So anything that's wet, that's not dry, can actually get dried. So that makes your house last a little bit longer. And there's a bunch of things that go on. And I just want to bring that up because a lot of people think that a house is just like you move in, you take care of just the ordinary things like the AC, the heating, and you check it out every year, and the chimney every year or two. And then there's other factors that go into the longevity and the expenses of a home. And that's why these home builders trying to do rentals for thousands of homes is hilarious to me. Paul Castillo, Eric, homeowners insurance is becoming tougher to get year by year here in Florida. It's tougher to get year by year anywhere. What the insurance companies are doing is a nationwide sweep. They're not going by the state of Florida anymore. They're going, okay, we're just going to take everybody that is low risk in Florida, everybody that's low risk in California, everybody that's low risk in Ohio, or they're just taking low risk and they're combining it all as one. And that's how they're determining what people are going to be paid based on their geographical location. Florida obviously higher than somebody that may be in Michigan, right? But they're going with low risk, meaning millions of people will not have insurance coverage, which is another problem as you get older and as your income reduces and as home prices go up. And to rebuild homes or rebuild walls or do any rehab costs more and more money. $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 may not cut it over your lifetime for the repair bills. If you planned on living in your home for 50 years, let's say 40 years, there's just no way around it. So I see this. What will happen to your property if you can't find a company to insure it? You lose it. That's what's happening in Florida. Or actually, it's not just Florida. I mean, it's happening in California. There's a fire in California right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of those people aren't insured. I'm pretty sure. So FEMA might have to come into play trying to give people, well, I don't know what good 100,000, 150, 200,000 is going to do, or 250, unless you live in Alabama or Arkansas or something. I don't know, but it ain't going to work in Cali and it ain't going to work in Florida either. So I don't know, but that's where we're going with this, Paul Castillo. So once again, are you safe anywhere? So think about it. So you say, okay, for instance, we have a Dominican Republic situation. They're building new condos, they're brick. You can huff, you can puff, and they're probably not coming down. But you're going to have to deal with other factors. Or stay in America, don't have insurance, and obviously no insurance in a hurricane zone or a tornado zone or a fire zone is basically financial suicide, right? So you can get away with it if nothing ever happens, right, in your area. But I doubt that anybody in Florida would think not having insurance is a good idea. Now, some people in Florida have gone without insurance. I saw something on the news just a few days ago where a guy was saying his insurance went up to like $9,000 annually. And his house is worth like $200,000. But here's the problem. What your house is worth is not the rebuild cost. The rebuild cost is much higher than what your house is worth. That's what people don't understand. All the infrastructure in a house cost. It's not just walls and it's not just your exterior. It is plumbing, right? It's your ACs. It's your ducts in your house. There's a bunch of things that you have to knock down walls and rebuild. Tear down everything. Go to the studs. Or worse, if you have water inside, you got to cut your studs out. Or, I mean, it's a crazy build. It's going to cost you way more than the house. So they're taking a high risk. And unfortunately, being being like over 55 and taking that type of a risk and into retirement that's just suicide. I just can't see it. But yeah, this is going, Paul Castillo, this is going on around the United States. And what's even worse, what happens when you do need the insurance company after you have been paying $8,000 a year or $10,000 a year, and you haven't used them for 5 to 10 years, and the next thing you know, you gave them over $100,000, and they tell you, we're not covering it. Force majeure. A hurricane came, force majeure. I mean, this is crazy when you think about it. Victor Morel says that Paul Castillo, if you have a mortgage, your lender will find a way to get you an insurance. Woo! Don't even. Oh, I shiver. I shiver. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you something right now. What Victor Morel just said, I shiver. Because if you have a mortgage and you have to call up your mortgage company and say, hey, I can't get this insured. I tried X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. That's all that we have here in the state that I can even get. Citizens is this. I can't. They said they won't cover me. Oh my God. If your mortgage company gets an insurance company for you, it's oh my God. You do not want that. You can bet on it. You may not like the premium, but they'll protect themselves and they'll add it to your mortgage. And I mean, the way things are going, you could be paying $2,000 per month. You don't have insurance. Next thing you know, they added $900 per month to your mortgage. You could be paying $3,000 now. I mean, this is how crazy this could get. That's why it's so scary. And that's why if you're going to live in hurricane locations, then you have to make sure that, and this is one of the things about the Dominican Republic you can't know. All of these structures that are being built, you don't know what the lay of the land naturally is. If there's a storm, what's to say from like 1,000 acres that there isn't something on 1,000 acres that created like a little mini flood zone that would go like 2 to 3 feet high, and then they built condos there, and all of a sudden 2 to 3 feet high for about 50 yards is 2-3 feet underwater. See, that's what I'm worried about, and that's why I never get the bottom floor. I'm just saying, I never get the bottom floor. But it's not funny, but I'm just saying it's kind of funny when I think about it. I'm like, I'm not staying on the bottom floor. I don't buy stuff on the bottom floor in hurricane zones. But that's the funniest thing, right? You just never know. But they will protect themselves, like Victor Morel says, because that's their asset. Remember, your structure is backed by the loan. And if there's no structure, the loan is worthless. And whoever's carrying the paper, they need their money. And the funnier part is the onus is on the owner. This is what irritates me the most. If I get insurance and the insurance company says, screw you, okay, I got to sue them, right? To try and get it. And then even then, that's costing me money. And the other thing is, if a mortgage company has the insurance, I find it fascinating that little situation with the insurance company. Now the mortgage companies can fight the insurance companies. So they're more prone to give them the money to pay off the note. You're going to be left without a house, but potentially. But I find it very fascinating. Very fascinating. The insurance business is like a ripoff generally. I mean, that's what it is. There's no way to know future value. And it was always a good thing as long as you didn't have any catastrophic events like 2 hurricanes a week apart, back to back, in different locations, different landing zones. So, I mean, you're tearing up stuff that nobody could foresee coming. And a third one, we're not even over. The likelihood of a third one coming is slim. But imagine if a third one comes. That's what we're talking. I mean, this is incredible what's happening. So, and Victor Morel says also with insurance, if your damages don't reach the 8K or 10K deductible, yeah, don't even call about the issue. They'll jam you up with premium increase. The system is rigged against us. Exactly. He's right. Don't even call. Even though, yeah, just the wise thing. No explanation needed. Just what he said. Just like your car insurance, just like this. Even if it's 12 G's, 13 G's, and your deductible's 10, and you go, oh, I'll pay the 10 because it don't cost me 13. You better pay the 13. All right. keep that premium rolling at that rate, because you want something that if it's 200,000, you want payout, right? So we'll see. I hope dollar next month. I don't understand, Brian P. I hope dollar next month. You're gonna have to put that in again. I'd appreciate it. I don't understand. All right. Okay, if anybody wants to discuss anything else, members of the channel with the icon, you guys know you can join me on screen anytime you want, right? You guys know that. So don't be shy. And where do you get that link? You know where, under the community tab, right here on YouTube. Now it's time for I need a drink of water. So SSN Lifestyle. Let's see, what are we going to do this time? Let's go with, okay, I played that one last time.
People call me the champ. That's not true. I'm a champ a long time ago. This is the champion, David Chu. Say hello. David Chu. Hello, everyone. Tell us what's the tournament that you just won a ridiculous amount of money in?
Well, it was WPT.
Yeah, WPT where?
Polygon.
How much did you win?
3.4.
3.4 million dollars. David Chu just came home with. You're amazing. Amazing. Yes, let's give a hand for David Chu. We have David Chu here. Just won $3.4 million. How we doing? How's the table? Oh my God, Brett Butler's here. Brett Butler and I have a lot of history. He's the man who got absolutely no cards in the final table when we were together. It was unbelievable. I got so unbelievably lucky, and he got nothing sick. It was really sick. This man should have won a hell of a lot more money. But how much did you win at the World Series, David?
3.2.
For real? He won $3.2 million, and he got absolutely no cards, got completely screwed, and I felt really bad, but it's not that bad. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. You're playing against Glenn Turman, who's one of my old clients. Glenn is one of the great actors of our time. Glenn's been nominated for an Emmy this year for his HBO movie. You gotta come and talk to Glenn. You didn't recognize Glenn Turman that you're sitting next to? Crazy? I'm so sorry.
Oh, hiding out on me, man. Oh, my goodness.
Of course. Glenn, I miss you so much. We have Glenn Turman in the house, everybody. Tell us about the movie that you're doing. You just did great feel. You're nominated for an Emmy this year.
Well, HBO put me up for the nomination.
All right, gentlemen. I'll give you guys a little something. You notice the shirt I was wearing? Somebody sent me over something that's awfully nice. I shouldn't show you guys this because then you're going to want me to take you down to one of these parties. I know, but I'm going to show you guys this. And I shouldn't even show this, but I will. I will. This is something that I did not put in the video because Tony Jones, a friend of mine, he actually sent this to me, and I didn't realize it was from this particular time when we're at the Playboy Mansion. But here you go. Here's the thing. So that's paint. Unbelievably, it looks real, but it's paint. They're wearing zero. Unbelievable. All right. So somebody asked me about that on Friday night. Some things that we won't talk about. You have to come back on Friday nights because that's where I hope a dollar next month for ULTY. Why? Do you have like 3,000 shares now or 2,000 shares now? Because I know you had 500 at one time. And I think you said you bought another 500. So I know you got 1,000, I think. And then I know on another one you had 2,000. Mr. Dividend has been taking names with these dividend stocks. So how many shares do you have of ULTY? Is it 1,000, 1,500, 2,000? And every month you get a reinvestment. So yours are, I mean, you're in the, 30, 40, 50, 60 every month, which is pretty cool. So let me know. And oh, by the way, I always tell this. 3,000. Holy smokes. Okay, I have one more video picture since it's that day. Let me see if I can find something. I can't find it. So you have to wait till Friday. He sent me a whole bunch of them. There's more, but I can't find them. So I have to wait till Friday. I'll queue it up, and we'll see how it goes. Holy smokes, 3,000 ULTY? Wow. Well, if it's $1, that's 3 G's for ULTY. Congratulations. Even if it's 97 cents, that'll work too. Or 90 cents, that'll work. ULTY, in case anybody wants to know, I'm trying to look it up, see what the price is right now. It's $10. Wow. Wow. That's interesting. That is interesting. It's a give and take year over year. I have to admit, it's one of those give or take. Stock price kind of comes down, but it's reinvesting at the lower price and you're getting more shares and you're still getting, it's a give and take. Sheesh, that's significant. In fact, let me go look. I'll just go look it up so everybody can see it. Let's see. Last month, 82 cents, or shall I say this month, 82 cents. September, 98 cents. August, 78 cents. July, 99 cents. And then March through June, it was $1. From $1 to $1.40. So I expect, hold on, ULTY. I expect, actually, I would think it could be $1. The reason why I say this is because there's been an uptick in market. When the stock market rises, then there's more options. That's what I think. So we'll see what happens. Very good, very good, very good. I love it. I love it. $10, pretty cheap. Good grief. In fact, I don't really, hold on a second. Let me go look at something. ULTY, Ultra Option Income Trading. Come on, guys. Stop it. They always play with me like this. I can never get to the ULTY. And there's so many options now. It's ridiculous. Oh, see, this is ridiculous. 100%. Come on. And MSTY, that Victor Marrero, 72% distribution of the stock. The Y Mag, which is the Magnificent Seven, is 62.64% distributions. Come on, man. That's outrageous. The stock price is definitely, and Tesla, what? TSLY at 100. Also, come on, the distribution. This is insane. This is insane. I mean, let's get real. Making money up in here if you invest in the stock markets, ladies and gentlemen. Goldman Sachs is saying bad times ahead, and I don't know what they know. They must know something that is off in the weeds somewhere. Well, actually, it's not that hard. There is one thing that's always been a ticking time bomb, and that's the derivatives. It's like it's so much owed. And in case you're new here and do not understand what a derivative is, it's no more, no less than when you go out and buy a home, and you bought a home, and I'll just make it simple. Your loan is for $400,000. All right. And you start making your monthly payments to, I don't know. I want to say, I'll just say Goldman Sachs. All right. And then all of a sudden, after about 3 or 4 years, you get a message saying, oh, your new mortgage holder or the new place you send money to is Santander, let's say. What happened? Santander bought the paper. All right. So they paid, let's say it's worth $350,000 to them. So they paid $200,000 and Goldman Sachs got out instead of waiting. and they let the other people take the risk. But that risk is the remaining amount, but your home price went up, right? So now the home price, let's say, is 500. That's the value of it. So now what ends up happening is if we have a 20% to 30% increase like we did in what was it, not the 2020 and 2021, the house goes up to 600,000. They then sell a new paper wrap and they sell it to somebody else saying, hey, this house is worth 600, but how much will you give me for it? And they'll say 400. So now another derivative has been done. People have been paid, but it keeps going. And that's where the problem comes in. How many of those are out there? You can believe multi-millions. So there's no way to know how much debt there really is. That's the problem. And it could be it's bad. It could be in the quadrillions. And there's no accounting for, it's an implosion. The implosion, do I think is going to happen? Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Why? Because the Federal Reserve has done everything they needed to do so far. Goldman Sachs putting out this new advisory today, I find shocking. But at the same time, there are things that could make our economy implode. That our economy should have imploded already. In fact, I'll even go one step further. By the United States bailing out the world, because as soon as they bailed out the United States banking system, that bailed out the world. So they could continue on with this derivative nonsense. That's where the problem actually stems from. They are not letting these banks fail like they're supposed to. And therefore, there's no reset like it's supposed to be. And that's where the problem comes in. You guys have to understand this. They've been running a fine line for the last 100 years after the Great Depression. Now they're back in Great Depression mode, but they have figured it out with the Federal Reserve tools, bonds. We're not a tariff nation like we were back in the 30s and 20s. So now you can sell bonds, and we have basically world currency. It's the only reason America hasn't imploded. And there's no reason that the rest of the world wants America to implode, because that means the whole world economy crashes. And from ashes to ashes, who's going to rise? The rich already have stuff. The rest of us, we're going to be fighting over scraps and tearing down scraps. It's going to be bad if things hit the fan like this. But unfortunately, this is just capitalist systems. They have to crash. Even though America's 200 years old, but see, Roman Empire already went through this. All right. You can't keep conquering lands, being in military environments, using all this money for your military and not putting it towards your infrastructure or giving back to your citizens or creating jobs for your citizens. That's where the problem comes in here. All right. Enough with the economics lessons today. I'm going to wrap this up here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to stay on here too long. Victor Morrell, you and your family, hopefully you have a very safe trip to the islands. Have fun. I look forward to seeing some video, and just have a great time. Be safe. All right. Everybody else, hopefully I'll see you Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. It's only open to people that have that icon next to their name. On Wednesday night, they're the only ones that can be in the chat room. And we're not on Instagram on Wednesday nights as well, but we're on all our platforms that you have to become a member of. So that those are the only people that will see Wednesday night live streams. And expect some other videos to come out, because I will be dropping a video about Goldman Sachs. I will be dropping a video about Elements, the Sonesta condo hotel, because we got to get to the bottom of Sonesta's condo hotel program, the ES program. I don't know about it, and so I will know about it by tomorrow, because after this, I'm going to find out about it. And make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like what we're talking about. And don't forget to go over to ssnlifestyle.com or stopstrugglingnow.com. Either way, check out the Investors Forum link at the top. Click on it. and come join us if you want to invest in real estate or start a business in the Dominican Republic. And it's going to be December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That's when we're going to go around. So I suggest you get there the 1st, leave the 5th, but don't land on the 2nd. Otherwise, you won't be there starting at 10 o'clock in the morning when we go see our first lawyer. All right. So make sure the other factor, stay in Los Corrales is my suggestion. Why? Because it still has the infrastructure needed. You're close to the beach. There's restaurant, bars, nightclubs, casino, everything's there, pharmacies. And if you're not familiar with the islands, you can walk in a pharmacy and get almost any drug, legal drug in America that you have to get a prescription for. You don't need a prescription there. Just saying. So that helps you get your antibiotics put in your order. That helps you, that Ozempic stuff, a third of the price, if that's what you're into. So again, check out, we're going to come out with new SSN Lifestyle Health products coming out in a new bottle. You should see this over the next 2 weeks. And if you want some of this gear, you guys know where to go. StopStrugglingNow.com or click on the links down below. If you haven't gotten your free stocks from Robinhood and Webull yet, go down below in the description box and get them. Download Robinhood and download Webull, but on Webull, you have to deposit even $5, $2, $1 to get your free shares of stocks. Robinhood will give you one free share of stock. Webull, sometimes, depending on the promotion, will give you a few free shares of stock without depositing. But if you deposit, you get a lot more. Sometimes 10, sometimes 15, sometimes fractional shares. They have promotions all the time. But use the link down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Of course, it's affiliate links. And one last thing I haven't discussed yet, crypto. It's not so much crypto. It's so much unstoppable domains. Unstoppable domains allows you to have a .crypto, a .nft, a .x type of extension. It's not like a .com from this standpoint. You don't have to pay after you buy the domain. There is no annual fee. And because it's on the blockchain, you can actually put video, website, a small one on the blockchain, which means now nobody can take it down. So this is where it's going, right? Or could go. So I just want to make sure you guys know the link is down below. This could be $5, $10 on up. And you do need a crypto wallet. So if it's MetaMask, which is the easiest one, that's fine. But they will mint it on the Polygon network for no additional cost. So you buy something for $10, like ericbird.crypto. I have that. StopStrugglingNow.crypto. SSNLifestyle.crypto. SSNLifestyle.nft. Have all of that, right? So when somebody wants to send you crypto in the future or now, they do over 350 tokens or coins. All you have to do is give the person the name. StopStrugglingNow.crypto. I don't have to give you the alphanumeric character. That's all you need. StopStrugglingNow.crypto, and you just send me the top. Make sure it's the top 300 coin to my account, and thank you. It's that simple. I love it. It's beautiful, but you should get it just in case. Even if you don't, I have the just in cases. That's why I suggested you get something off the United States continent. If you're an American citizen, you go to the Dominican Republic, no credit check, no qualifying, you get some pre-construction property. So then this way, if something happens in the United States, like Goldman Sachs is talking about, fine. That means maybe I'll go hang out somewhere else that I'm allowed to hang out at. That simple, right? So let me know what you guys think. Victor Morel says, thanks, Eric. Just trying to be like you, a world traveler when I retire. Well, it looks like you're about to be on your first stage. We'll call it stage 1. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Cool is supposed to be in Spain. So hopefully they made it there and they're safe. So that would be awesome. And hopefully you'll be going over there. I don't know what your schedule is, but hopefully. Are these construction projects in DR being built with hurricane standards? Yes, Victor Morel, they are. They are. In fact, every building is. They're built up to the codes for hurricanes. So they're going to be able to withstand Cat Cat 4s, Cat 5s. The only problem though is, well, actually they're not putting shingles up, which is good. So the only problem with it is the Cat 4, Cat 5 winds, the AC units that are outside, I don't know how those are going to fare, right? That's the only thing I don't know about because they're outside. So you're going to be safe as long as you're inside. And some of these projects also use cheaper windows. But all of the windows have that normal hook, though, that's, the ones you like. That's the ones that I like to see. So, yeah, they're up to hurricane standards, but I don't know about a Cat 5, which could happen. Cat 5s at 150, 160 is pretty serious. But the infrastructure can't withstand it because even just a normal storm, they have, bridges going out, rivers overflowing. And this is part of that tax situation that they can't remedy. And so a Cat 4, Cat 5 is catastrophic as far as the land. Your building will still be fine. But again, knowing where you're building matters. I like elevation. Simple. The problem is like Larimar, that has elevation, but unfortunately it's on the mountaintop on a plateau. That is a little nerve-wracking, right? But I always want a little elevation regardless. That's my motto as well. So you try to find that. It's hard to find when the buildings aren't built yet, the roads aren't built yet, so you can't really tell the elevations. And you can always tell when you buy a house and it's built and you roll up and it's sunken down compared to the street level, automatically that's a pass for me. I don't care how much I love the house. Now, I bought one house that was down below, but the only reason I did that is because it ran out even further down. So I wasn't too worried at that point. Plus, I had my usual water around the house little thing too. So I was like, And then I was there when it rained just to see. Of course, nothing ever happened. And it drained as I expected because the sewer was right there too in the cul-de-sac. So everything worked as planned. But normally I probably wouldn't have bought that house. But again, I check everything. If I love the house like I love that one, then I said, hey, we got to come over here at night after 6, 7, 8, 9 at night. I want to see what it looks like because I am a fan of not having too much lighting. I just want one little light, close by in the street. I don't want my whole block lit up like it's a crime scene all the damn time. So there's certain things that I look for. So I know I'm doing this at night, right? Night, right? Security, all kind of stuff. How far am I from the front gate? All kind of stuff in my brain. Just like if I'm buying property, all that matters as well. How high am I up? I'm not going to be on the first floor, generally. And there's, factors. And even in like Larimar's the only one I know besides Moon Palace that could have 17 stories. There's wind shear factors once you get up certain heights. 10, 12 stories may not matter. But when you start going 14, 15, 17, 8, well, 17 is the max, you all of a sudden will hear wind differently. And in fact, depending on how this is built, I'm assuming it's all going to be concrete. But if they do this concrete, steel type stuff, then you could actually hear stuff moving. So it'll be like you'll hear these creaks, right, that you're not used to. That's when you wish you were on the first or second floor. Right? Just say it. All right, Paul Castillo, good question to ask next week when I go there. The ACs on the roof, if any, will be exposed. Our projects have a lot of glass too, and that's another risk. Flooding won't be an issue. Exactly. That's exactly right, Victor Moreau. That's exactly right. And that's also why the other question, write it down, Victor Moreau, and everybody who has a project, if you have a condo or villa, You need to find out if they're going to allow you to put the electric shutters down, because that's something that can protect you greatly because of all the glass. And most of the complexes, like at the beach, they did allow people to put shutters in. And I would think all projects would, because that's dangerous, right? It's dangerous. And so that is something that you need to know about. And no developer so far is putting those in. You have to put those in at your cost. But remember, a condo project owns the outside of the building, so you have to get approval. If you live in a villa, then the HOA, you still might have to ask, but I don't think they're going to say no, because there's no reason to say no, right? So that's some of the issues, but you're right about that, the glass. So you have to have those shutters, and they have electric shutters, which makes it kind of cool. James Sway, thanks. We're taking our time traveling, trying to live the local life and not get jammed up with gringo prices. There you go, Victor Morel. Well, unfortunately, you're getting jammed up. You're getting jammed up, man. There's nowhere here, Victor Morel, since you always stay at, well, you've stayed at, well, no, you're staying at Margaritaville and Lopasan. You're still on an all-inclusive plan. But in the DR, you'll be at DR price. I mean, PR. In PR, you'll be at the PR prices. So you should be good. I mean, unless you're staying in downtown San Juan or something, you should be good. And you speak the language too, man. So, I mean, come on now. You're not gringo. You're not going to be gringo when you're in PR or DR. So, but the prices are still the same, though. I mean, there's not like you can hide. You don't get a gringo menu and a Latin menu, right? There's the same menu. It's just that you don't have too many Dominicans eating in the Capcana restaurant, right? Because it's, I mean, like Noah's, for instance. That stuff was crazy. Went to Noah's. Okay, we eat at La Bruja, reasonable, right? $640 to $980 price range in pesos. Beautiful. Go to Noah's, which is downtown. I'm looking at the menu like it's the same owners. And I'm just like, if they had the same, they have different things on the menu. But if they had the same thing on the menu, my little barbecue thing for $980 would be something like 1,500 pesos at Noah's instead of $980, $960. My little nachos thing that I get, I think it's $640. That thing would be like 1,200 at Noah's downtown. And that's what I'm afraid of that's going to happen to downtown. Noah's is nice. It's a little more upscale, allegedly, than La Bruja, kind of. Not really, but, you know, it kind of is. It's hard to describe, really. And all the little restaurants around there on that same thing. It's like $35 for entrees, $30 to $40 for entrees. And I'm like, this is out of line. You're out of pocket. But I know where to go, though. If you're a tourist, you just go, oh, okay, this is normal. I'll eat here, I'll eat there. And I'm like, guys, come down to Los Corrales. Everything is like half of what you're paying over here. See, that's what's going to happen downtown, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be pricey. I'm just saying. So keep that in mind. All right, let's go. I'm going to wrap this up here shortly. Victor, enjoy the trip. Let me know if you need anything, any more VI advice. Yep, Virgin Islands. At Paul Castillo, good question. Ask next week when we go there. The AC's on the roof. Exactly. We went over that one already. James Wade, thanks. We're taking our time traveling, living the local life. Just kidding. Trust me, we're going to smoke the money. That's why we both worked so hard over 40 years to build what we have. We're switching from saving to spending. Hey, I'm not going to be mad at you. You know why? Because again, I have all kind of theories on life and the way things are. I wake up now and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what's this? I feel a little tinge. What's this little pain thing that happened? I just woke up. I'm like, what the hell? And then, like I say, I was working out outside, messing around on a hill, and I like messed up my knee, man. And now I can't even run anymore. I mean, just over something. I was doing some backpedaling, and all of a sudden I felt this, and I was like, oh no, what the hell? I'm like, oh, this is a problem. So now every time I put weight on my leg, I can walk fine. But if I try to run somewhere, I got pain. Poof, poof. I'm like, I can't really run. So just like that, breakdown. So the moral to the story, don't wait. He spent 40 years. You should be in party mode. As I used to tell my daughters, grandpa's on vacation all the time. So that's what I'm going to say. You better have fun in life because you never know what's going to happen next year, next week, next month. So you might not be able to last long enough to enjoy all the fruits of your labor. All right, here's another announcement I'm about to make to everybody. SSN Lifestyle, we have health products, right? Because of the new website, I've never put any health products on there. The health products are going to be coming back in the next 7 to 10 days with our new bottles. So don't miss that. Yeah, there's D3, there's K2, there's magnesium, there's iodine. I have a blend. It's a cocktail. It's not pills. I don't do pills. Period. Torres, I see you. Thank you so much for being at the Instagram. Make sure you guys follow at Instagram. We went up to 917. We went to 919. Then they dropped it all the way to 916. Now we went back tonight. It's 917. I told you guys, people sign up. And then for whatever reason, 3 or 4 always be removed. 3 to 5, always gone. But nonetheless, there's topical. It's not pills. Okay, I'll give a short lesson. If you take pills, the reason why they give you pills of 500, 1,000 milligrams, well, you can get 500 milligrams over the counter generally. Let's say it's a pain pill. But to see a doctor, you can get 1,000 milligrams, right? Oh, guess what? In the DR and Mexico and a lot of places, you can get those same 1,000 milligrams with the pain pills without seeing a doctor. Okay, enough. In America, you only keep in your body when it comes through, when you swallow it, comes through your stomach and all that, anywhere from, I'll give a range, but it's not 15 to 20%. That's why they go, instead of giving you 500, they say they got to give you 1,000 milligrams tabs because you're only getting, let's call it 200 milligrams. You're not getting 1,000. You see, that's the thing. So when they give you 500, you're not even getting but 100, 125 kind of thing. That's not a lot either. So topical cream hits your blood barrier, goes into your bloodstream, bypasses your whole body. So I'm not saying you're going to get a higher quantity than that, but you're still going to get in your bloodstream immediately. Relatively immediately, within a few minutes. And so the deterioration from that, the absorption into your skin and into your blood is a lot different. All right. It's awesome. Okay. So we'll be breaking that out, new bottles, new everything. And I have I got something that I love. As Victor Morel said, he just said the 40 years of building, a lot of people don't take care of their body and don't understand how your body works. You have to make sure that you have ingredients in your body so your bones stay strong. And that's why you have to generally work out, because your muscles actually put pressure on your bones. And that's how your bones stay strong. Got you guys, right? Yeah, I kind of do this health thing too. But the point is, have a safe trip. Victor Morel, he says, all right, add one, Eric, 919. I just started following you. Hopefully that one gives you a good boost. Thank you, man. Well, what generally happens is it goes up to 919. The most it ever went up to is 920, but tomorrow it'll be down to 915 or something. You'll see for yourself. And I'm not deleting people. That's what's I don't delete people. All right. Nobody bothers me. But back to the situation at hand. Your body needs, as you get older, you may not get enough magnesium. K2 is hard to get. D3, hard to get. So I have this formula that's coming out, all natural, by the way. D3, K2, and magnesium. It's for an osteoblast. You guys have heard of osteoporosis, right? That's not good for you. Osteoblast, using those 3 ingredients, gives you an osteoblast within your system for your bones. It carries it to your bones because that's where your blood's going through. And so therefore, that helps you out. That product's coming out. Iodine, actually, you don't see too many people with goiters anymore that used to have these big things here. Well, when your filter system is here, if it gets blocked, all of a sudden there's a bulge that starts coming underneath. You've seen those occasionally. Some of you may not have noticed, but some people have these little balls. That's because it's filling up. Your filter's filling up. It can't break things down. And so iodine helps break it down. But iodine is much more valuable to your body because you don't get it anymore. Yes. So now, of course, we have the product, the iodine, the D3, magnesium with MSM. That's for your joints. That's right. I know. Yeah, the stuff is badass. And you guys will talk about it later because, you know, it's on SSN Lifestyle. It'll be up in about a week because they've changed the bottles. That's the only reason it's not already up on SSN Lifestyle. But come join us on the SSN Lifestyle Punta Cana Investors Forum. You can go to stopstrugglingnow.com or ssnlifestyle.com. The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, you can read up on it. But make sure I advise suggestions, stay in Los Corrales. It's generally cheaper to stay per night. And we're going to be picked up meeting in the morning at 10 a.m., a certain location, and then we drive to where we're going. The first day, going to see attorney. Second day, we're going to go to sit down with some project presentations, go out to see some projects, get to see lay of the land somewhat, and see what's going on. And then the third day, we're going to be talking to bankers with the loan information and things like that for your exit strategy. So you'll understand what at this particular time you're going to be dealing with if you decide to say, well, I'll just come and buy something that's almost ready and I need a loan. So in case you go that route, at least you'll know and understand what the landscape is for lending. So that way, that'll help you out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you smash the like button on the way out. Make sure you hit the follow button on the way out. Whoever's on Instagram and other social media and podcast pages, I appreciate it very much. And we're going to ride this one on home. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And just like Victor Marrero says, you want to save, you want to make money, you want to have fun. But you don't want to have fun when you can't get around, which there's nothing wrong with being in the wheelchair. There's nothing wrong with hobbling with the cane. But the fact of the matter is when you're traveling around the world, not every place cares about if you're handicapped. All right. So just keep that in mind. For instance, the Dominican Republic, they're not building things based on if you're going to be in a wheelchair. You can forget the ramps. You can forget all that. It ain't happening. All right. It's not all countries are like the United States, and their laws that we have here aren't like universal. So again, your health is your wealth. So make sure you take care of yourself. And that way, when you are retired, you get to go worldwide and you're not going to have to care. So we'll be back on the worldwide train. I got 2 years and 9 months to be here, make another 1,000 videos. And then after that, I'm going back to being who I am. All right. That's the funniest part. What do I do? I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll figure it out. It'll be the worldwide tour again, back to partying, back to doing whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back into the gambling business or something. I don't know. Because, you know, these days, all you got to do is gamble. And then they give you free this, free that, free cruise, free airport, free airport, private jet flights to, it could be any location. It could be in Nevada. It could be in Atlantic City. It can be in the Gulf Coast, like Biloxi. You know, once you're intertwined, it could be on cruise ships. Maybe that's what I'll do. Hang out for a while like that. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Another lifetime's ahead. Everybody, have a good evening. I love you guys very much. I appreciate you all being here and listening. And if you ever have anything you want to suggest, you can always hit me up by email at support@stopstrugglingnow.com, or you can always put something under the community tab or in any chat room on a live stream or under any video. I'll get them all. Or you can hit us up in the chat room. You can join us on WhatsApp. I do have to approve people, and I keep getting all these scammers that try to get in, but I'm still going to leave a link in the chat room in case you want to join us on our WhatsApp group for SSN Nation and Lifestyle. I put it in a few locations so people should be able to see it, and I do have to approve you. And the last thing, some of you have waited, so I will show this, and maybe I'll talk about it if I can find this picture real quick, because I didn't even realize well, again, I don't remember taking the picture, but here we go. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. Here we go. See, afterwards, look at that. Yeah, there we go. Glenn Turman. The guy standing up with the glasses on, he's the guy that busted me at the frickin' final table. Unbelievable. Like I said, you always remember bad beats, so to speak. I had like ace queen. And actually, in all fairness, I had ace queen, but my stack, he had me up. He was 2-1, let's say. It wasn't like we were even, but the whole thing is he just called. He just raised, and his raise was I was probably 15 times his raise. So then I shoved all in, thinking he ain't calling. He called. I had ace queen. He had ace 4. And I'm thinking, I get to double up. I'm at the final table. Oh, this is going to be damaged now. But no, a 4 came up and I'm out. And that's when in the latest video that I imported, hold on, I'll import this right here. When David Singer is talking to me at the Playboy Mansion. That's what this has to do with when he has the microphone in my face. What's up, man? What's it? I was like, dude. And that's how it ended. But that was one of the guys. He made it to the final table. I made it to the final table. And also the funny part is the guy with the glasses. That's this guy. Where is he? Right here. He was also at the final table. So all 3 of us made it to the final table. Is that wild or what? Crazy stuff. Real crazy when you think about it. So it was fun, and thought that was very, very interesting because there was like, I don't even know. There had to be 50 tables, 60 tables. There had to be 500 or 600 people in there. So it was kind of funny that us 3 there made it and to the final table, which is good. We had fun. And I had more fun than everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Make sure you stay safe out here, and make sure you watch your back, watch your 6, because you never know what's going to happen. America is not what you think it is. A lot of you now see social media. I'll end with this. A lot of you have seen, you can now see social media. Imagine that social media did not exist. So you would not know what's a good part of town, what things look like, because there was no way to know unless you went there. Right? So you learn by going. Now you can learn before you go what certain places are like, because people will talk about it. So I lived in a different age where I was talking to somebody just the other day when they were like, I'm worried about immigrants. This thing about the immigrants. And I was like, what about them? I said, no immigrant ever tried to mess with me. And they're like, well, yeah, but that's because you're like in California. You don't have to worry about it. I'm like, dude, I don't know what you guys are smoking crack, but let me explain something. In Northern California alone, I'll explain to you guys, it includes San Francisco, Oakland, Richmond, California. All are in the Bay Area by themselves, 3 different cities. Stockton, Modesto's in the Central Valley, along with Fresno and Bakersfield. At one point in time in America, 6 of those cities I just named were in the freaking top 25 of the most dangerous places to live, with Stockton being number 1 and Oakland being number 1 at separate occasions in the country. Now, I'm a young man. Do you think I was not let me explain. All those cities I just explained had the most beautiful women on the planet and parties off the charts. I was in all those cities. Do you know what it takes to maneuver in places that you don't know at first until you hang out there? Then you have to know people, and there's certain things you have to do to maneuver in the most dangerous cities in the freaking world. That's like right now going to Chi-Town to Southside. That'd be crazy to go over there, right? The same thing. It has nothing to do with anybody else. America's always been this way. You go to the wrong parts of Birmingham, Alabama, and you got. I mean, this is crazy out here. People think America is like this safe haven. It ain't that safe. And especially when you know other people who are actually doing the mayhem, you find out real quickly it's really not safe. And I'll leave it with this, because this is like a story I should leave for Friday nights, but I'm just going to leave it at this, because I said, because then somebody started talking about sex trafficking. And I was like, hold up. I was like, you don't even want to talk about this, because America is not what you think it is. Why do you think there's X amount of women always missing in America? Black women, Native American women, Asian women, white women. You guys should look up how many women are missing every year. It ain't 100. It ain't 500. It ain't 1,000. Keep going. All right? This place is not what people think. It's only because you live most of the time in a suburban environment, or you know not to go to that side of town. But what you don't understand is you don't go to this country, period. But you don't think that way. You think you're safe, when in fact you're only safe because you're oblivious. And so then I told the guy, when we're talking about this, I said, okay. I said, I can't talk to you, because I'll just talk to you like I'm a civilian now. I'll put my blinders on, not know what I know, and let you believe whatever you want to believe. But I'm telling you right now, this is why a lot of people find themselves in situations, because they don't realize America is not safe. It ain't no better than if I'm in the DR. It ain't no better if I'm in somewhere in the wrong side of San Juan, Puerto Rico, where Victor Morello's going. It ain't no better. And you guys out here playing games with your lives sometime, thinking that everything is fine. So whether you're in America or around the world, be safe out here, all right? I'm just saying, you just never know what's going on. And there's things now that you can do to people that you couldn't do before. So when somebody says, you meet somebody, that beautiful woman, handsome guy, and they say, meet me at XYZ, and you just willy-nilly be like, oh, going to the house. That could be a setup. See, this is different now, because now you could be going, my henchmen could be waiting for you, and you don't even know it. You're thinking you're coming to meet me. I'm just saying, this is wild out here, what's going on. So just be safe out here. Don't believe everything is nice and cozy and copacetic out here, all right? So just keep that in mind. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.